Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 98 of the 476ers podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about last night's Heat game. Stay tuned.
Yo. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 98 of the 476ers podcast. 8, because we got 8 last night by the Miami Heat, who I hate. Switch the A and the T. No, the E and the T. I hate the Heat. Got 8 by them. Destroyed. Demolished. Decapitated. We're decomposing. Deconstructed. It must have been delicious. We looked demotivated. Demobilized. Destroyed. Demolished. Pathetic is what we looked. I mean, listen, this is what I've been afraid of. And I mentioned this on my last podcast, that obviously that there was this elephant in the room, that we had been taking advantage of a lot of teams that were hitting at the right time. Injuries or just, whatever it was, the injuries or just bad teams, or, you know what I mean? And we didn't really look impressive. And I think some of the guys knew that. They asked Danny Green last week after the Pelicans game, that we just didn't look impressive. That, yeah, we're winning these games, but we don't look right. We don't look good. Yeah, we don't. We don't look impressive. I mean, Joe, I can't believe that Joel Embiid, the MVP, who was not the MVP after last night's game, is about to draw my ire, but he's going to. He's going to draw my ire. He's about to draw all of the ire and put an F in it, because fuck it, he's going to draw the fire of my ire. I mean, Lord have mercy. What was that? I mean, they punched us in the fucking mouth. There's a difference between a team that is not soft, that is physical because they are physical, right? That is hard-nosed, mentally strong because that's who they are, and a team that talks like they're mentally strong and talks like they're physical and tries to be physical when the time permits them to be physical. And that's what we are. We're a team that we're not necessarily soft, but we don't carry ourselves like we aren't soft. And when it's time to get not soft, it's a mental switch that has to be turned on that says, hey guys, it's time to not be soft. The Heat carry themselves like they are not soft. They carry themselves like they are hard-nosed. And what they did yesterday was essentially get us completely out of our game. I mean, they were in our fucking heads. It's funny listening to our broadcast. I couldn't pick a broadcast list. They were both trash. Marv just does it. I don't know. I don't know how much basketball Marv is watching. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much basketball Marv Albert is watching. I just know that they got to get the microphone out of his fucking mouth when he's talking, because I don't want to hear every fucking sound his mouth is making when I'm watching the broadcast. It's wild. I hear all of the sounds: chewing, breathing, spitting, just saliva mounting and being created, and the reproduction of fluids in his fucking mouth. I hear it all over the goddamn TNT broadcast. And then so I go to our broadcast, and here we go. Here we are, not calling it how it is. Joel lives rent-free in Trevor Ariza's head. Does he? Does he live rent-free in Trevor Ariza's head? Because it seemed like we were already losing, and what Joe did there wasn't dirty. Let's be clear. Joe is not a dirty basketball player. I don't think he is, at least. And I think Joe can be hard-nosed at times. He can do some hard-nosed fouls that people may think are dirty, but I don't think they're dirty. I just think there are some hard-nosed physical fouls. And what happened there, understanding that Joel literally falls all over the place, all over the court, I think what happened to Trevor Ariza probably wasn't great. And I'm going to keep it real. I respect Joel going to him after halftime to say, yo, whatever, they talked that out. Looked like Joel said, my bad. When I was looking at Trevor Ariza's face, though, if I was Joel, I would be like, yo, listen, my bad. And if Trevor acted all like how he acted, I'd be like, you know what, suck a dick, though. It's my fault. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't try to hurt you. I assure you that. That's my bad that you got hurt. But you got this attitude, you can suck a dick. If you still want smoke, we can go get smoke. It's fine. We can go to the smoke shop. I got my vape pen in the back. Let's get the fucking smoke. I'll send you the smoke fucking signal. Trevor Ariza, you'll never Ariza again after this motherfucker. I will fuck you up. I'm sorry. It's a lot of curse words for the first couple minutes of a podcast. That is a lot of curse words. I mean, we just got punched in the mouth. Straight up and down. I almost turned it off at halftime. I didn't think there was any hope we would come back. You know what I mean? I can't believe we only lost by 12. We were down by 30 at one point, and going into the fourth quarter, they just beat the shit out of us, straight up and down. Our defense. I mean, where do you even start? If I was Danny Green, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a time where Danny needs to speak. Where Danny needs to go into that locker room and be like, listen, I know I'm not the best player on this team, and I know my arms don't go all the way straight. But y'all going to hear me real quick because I'm a fucking champion, a 3-time champion. 3 championships, 2 in a row just now, with 2 teams that were physical, that were hard, that were mentally tough. Yeah, one of them happened with LeBron, of course. I mean, the other one happened with Kawhi and that Raptors team. A team of kind of misfits, guys that were also rans and quit on. Who in that season, I said, I think this Raptors team could beat the Warriors as they are. Now, I don't know if that would have happened had the Warriors been healthy. Doesn't matter. It's over now. Point being, that's the team that beat us. And we never got our teeth back. We never got our fangs back. There's an anime on Netflix. If you're prone to animes, called Kengan Ashura, which I really enjoy. I've read the manga too. I'm a nerd. It's what I do. And there's a dude there, the best fighter in the show, the most thugged out motherfucker. His name is Fang. And the reason they call him the Fang is because after he beats you, he takes your fangs away. He doesn't, and no one ever sees these people that he beats bounce back. They're never the same after that. They don't have a bite. Happened to Cotto. If you watch boxing, when Cotto fought Margarito fucking ruined Cotto's career. It was never the same after that fight because Margarito was cheating, but fuck him, whatever. We don't have any bite. We have no fangs. As much as I'm critical of Jimmy, the truth of the matter is that team, they go to Jimmy's bark. And they all came up to the challenge. And every single thing that I've said, if you watch that game and listen to some of my podcasts, you would think I don't know dick about basketball because I said Jimmy can't shoot threes against us. What did he go 4 for 4 from 3 against us? I mean, what a fucking miracle. He's shooting 21% from the 3-point line this year. 4 for 4 against us from 3. I mean, I said Bam gets bodied too often. That's why I'm not a big fan of Bam. And if you watch the finals, he was getting thrown around by AD against us. Strong man. Made Joel look like a fucking child. Are you kidding? Let's get to the players. Oh, I mean, how about the out-coaching? I said, yeah, the Nets don't play defense. But against us, if you just employ any type of zone, is gonna completely ruin us. And you saw last night. Now the difference is that he have personnel that are defensive-minded personnel, and the Nets don't have that. But if you just have guys with an IQ, with any type of basketball IQ, whether they play defense well or not, if they have any understanding of how a zone's supposed to work, they're going to cause issues for us. And if the Nets can do that, they're going to cause issues for us. We got no answer because we got Ben Simmons. Let's get to the players. Completely discombobulated us. What 1-3-1 zones, picking us up full court into the fourth quarter. Yeah, let me tell you something. There was 2 championship coaches out there. Because technically both of these coaches have won championships, but really there was only one championship coach. That's Eric Spoelstra, who knows that they're going to see us, and they sent a fucking message. Yeah, they sent a fucking missile across the bow of our ship and said, get closer and watch what's going to fucking happen next. Watch what's going to happen next. You got the best player. We got the next 2 best players. And now let's see what's going to pop off after that. Danny played well. He did the best he could do. I mean, it's crazy. He had 2 fouls early, and then he settled down. No more fouls after that. It's incredible. It's a hell of a job by Danny. He did the best he could do. You know what I mean? He missed. I'm pretty sure he started 0 for 2 from 3 and then hit 3 straight. I think is what happened as we were like completely out of the game in the third quarter. Danny said, let me try something because nobody else here is fucking playing. So let me try something. Get something going, play some good defense, try whatever I can. I mean, there's only so much you can do. He did a great job contesting some of those Jimmy shots. Man, Jimmy was just on. You know, one thing I'll give about Jimmy, I can be critical of him. I said, well, let's be clear. I'm critical of Jimmy for sure. I did say Jimmy deserves some MVP votes this year, without a question. And when you watch yesterday's game, Jimmy, we don't have the guy. Like Joe sometimes understands the moment and sometimes he doesn't. Jimmy understands the moment every single time. He does. He understands the moment. He knows exactly what this game meant. And it ain't got nothing to do with fucking Udonis Haslem. And maybe he provided a little spark. I mean, on the broadcast, they're saying, well, Udonis, they brought him in exactly for what they needed to bring the energy up. No. They were punching us in the fucking mouth already. They brought in Udonis to continue punching us in the fucking mouth and embarrass us. Because Udonis hasn't played all fucking season. They said, oh, we got the time. We up 20. Yo, UD, why don't you get in and get some minutes in here? And tell Dwight you're going to punch him in the fucking mouth. Toby, you actually played good. I'm going to save Ben and Joe for last. Toby, you played good. You know what I mean? I thought you played pretty okay. There was nothing too overly trash about your performance, I felt like. I actually thought that you did a good job. I mean, Toby's whole game is reliant on, can he hit a contested shot? That's Toby's offense. Toby doesn't have the handling ability, the explosiveness. I keep saying that. He don't have those things to get himself open. To do open shots, to get the Paul George type shot. He don't have what it takes to get those shots. He don't have it. So it's about, can he hit this contested jump shot? Can he back this person down and shoot over him? And he did a good job doing that yesterday. He didn't make any fucking threes though. This 40% three-point shooter. They talked about it on the broadcast on the TNT one, but that's kind of misleading. Toby hasn't been shooting well. He ain't been shooting well. It's been up and down. It's been inconsistent at best. He ain't out here hitting 2 threes a game. His averages might say he's hitting 2 threes a game, but that's because some games he hits 3, some games he hits 0. Yesterday was a game he hit 0. 8 for 17. Obviously I'm a stickler for when it comes to efficiency, but no one else is shooting, so he did what he could. He did his best. You know what I mean? He did his best. Good job, Toby. At least you fought. You fought. You're the only one who fought. The only one with any urgency, the only one with any energy. Ben had a ton of energy to foul. I'll talk about Ben in a second. Seth, whatever. Just crushed on defense. Put it that way. Seth crushed on defense. There are times on defense where Seth just looks so relieved that the person did not shoot on him that he just falls asleep. It's like he goes, takes a nap. He's like, okay. They had the ball and they gave it up. I can go take a nap now. I'm going to go take this nap. And then, boop, they score on us because of him, usually. I mean, we should have just kept JJ for this shit, honestly. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to rehash the dumb shit we did last year. I thought he shot okay. No 3-point shots where they ran him off him. They're not going to let him shoot threes. You know what I mean? They're just not going to let him shoot threes. 6 assists. He had that one nice assist. I mean, you knew what it was in the first play of the game. He has to go get the ball from the backcourt after they poke it away with 6 seconds left, and he throws that alley-oop to Ben. It worked out, but you knew at that point. I mean, you knew when it was 2-0 them, or when it was 4-2 them. I had this feeling in my chest watching the game. Oh, this ain't gonna go our way. This is not gonna go our way. I felt that shit. I felt that last night. Wow. Early in the game. I could have turned it off right then and not been surprised by the score. Not been surprised. George Hill, bro. Oof, well, I don't even know what to say about George Hill. Bro, I don't really know what to say about him. You know what I mean? I mean, he just looks he's not the settling person we need. I can say that. He's not settling us down at all. No settling down to his game. Nothing settled us down. Shake and George Hill, just an amalgamation. We might as well bench both of them for Tyrese. I mean, I just am so unimpressed right now with Shake and with George Hill. Shake, how you fucking missed 3 free throws is wild to me. At one point, you go 1 for 3. You missed the first fucking after the scuffles and all the bullshit. You missed the fucking technical free throw. Then you go to the line and you go 1 for 2. Are you kidding me? Missing fucking free throw, 15 for 20 as a team. How the fuck, Shake? You're a point guard. You're missing free throws. Your shot is gone. Wherever it's gone, it's gone. Locked away in the Temple of Doom. You're going to have to get chased by a fucking boulder to get it back. I don't know what it's going to take. Furkan. I mean, Furkan's first game back, I thought he tried well on defense, but I mean, no offensive punch or whatever. No one gave us an offensive punch. I'm like, I can't even blame that on Furkan, honestly. He just was out there. He was just out there. What are you going to say? Dwight, hey, Dwight, you know what, man? At least you understand what it is to be physical. You know what I mean? And you learned that later because motherfuckers was calling you soft the whole time. People been calling you soft for so long. They talked on the it's funny. They talked on the broadcast on our broadcast like, of course Dwight's gonna come. Dwight ain't soft. Dwight has never been someone to back down. I'm sorry. Do I gotta replay one of the most used gifs in the world, one of the most used gifs, whatever the fuck you want to call it, of Kobe saying soft, soft? Who is he saying that to? Do you not remember? He's saying that to Dwight. And let me tell you what happened here with UD. Understand that Dwight and Udonis Haslem, Miami and Orlando, they played 5 times a year for a lot of years while Dwight was there, and it was Dwight versus Udonis Haslem. For a lot of years, they were going head-to-head at times. You know what I mean? Whether Udonis came in, yeah, Udonis don't like Dwight probably. And as soon as Udonis got in, he said, yo, this is my last game of my fucking career. And I'm finna tell this motherfucker what I've always wanted to tell him. Because that foul, that thing that Udonis got mad at, that wasn't really shit. Honestly, let's keep it real. That wasn't anything. They're jostling for position. Dwight does a basic swim move. Udonis falls. Here you go, Udonis. I'll punch you in your fucking mouth. I ain't never seen something more. I can't read lips. I'm not a lip reader. But I read that. I read that. Shit, salt and pepper hair flying, jostling in the wind. I'll punch you in your motherfucking, he didn't say motherfucking. I'll punch you in your fucking mouth. Right to Dwight, he said, do it. Do it then. Do it. Do it. And then he did the I'm going to point in your fucking face thing, which is one of the most disrespectful things you can do. Don't put your finger and touch my face with your finger. Unless there's a spot there and you're my mother. You're my mother or my significant other and there's a spot on my face, or my son. And, oh, there's a spot on your face. Anybody else, you run the risk of losing a finger. You lose, I'll fucking bite your finger off. But at least Dwight was physical. At least he was physical. He came in, I mean, almost within the first minute, grabs a rebound, a putback, an offensive rebound, and my initial thought was, yeah, thank you for imposing your physical gifts on these people. They're not fucking stronger than you. You're the shoulders of a giant. You come in here like fucking Optimus Prime shoulders. Yeah, move some fucking people out the way. Let them know it's not going to go that way. It ain't going to be that way. It's going to be this way. But he was the only one who had that memo. And Toby, to an extent, the only one who had that memo. Everyone else, soft. Tyrese, hey, you know what, Tyrese, you didn't shoot well. You didn't do a ton, but at least you shot. At least you were willing to try. Getting frustrated, everyone, every guard off our bench was getting frustrated at each other because not one of these assholes knew how to handle his own. Tyrese is the only one who could probably handle his own because he's the only one who has the ability to penetrate effectively. George, the next time that you are wide open, 5 feet from the rim, and you try to throw an alley-oop, I'm going to die in my seat. Float that bitch in. That's it. Just put it in. You're there. Fuck this alley-oop you're trying to throw. It make no sense to throw that alley-oop. I don't remember what quarter that happened. Half of y'all. This message is for George directly. Y'all may not remember the play. George will remember the play. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The word I almost just said now is fucking ignorant. I'm sorry. It was just dumb as shit. That's what it was. The little old me is coming out is what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, I got nothing to say about these backups. Where do I start here? Ben or Joe? I mean, which one? Joe. MVP? Not last night. No, not last night. Last night, not only were you not the MVP, you weren't the best center on the floor. You weren't the second best center on the floor. I could make an argument. You weren't better than Dwayne fucking Deadman, the Dead Man, the Undertaker. You might have been the 4th best center that played last night. What was that game? What was that? I mean, let's look at these numbers. Yeah, you missed a couple. Maybe you were still 6. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Your first rebound in the third quarter, mind you. 1 assist. And I've talked about his rebounding sometimes. Sometimes I don't even understand. I don't know. He treats rebounding like an afterthought at times. Grab a rebound in traffic. Yo, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, 3 fouls. You got so thoroughly dominated and outplayed by Bam yesterday. And the thing is, listen, you know, Paul Pierce is one of my favorite players. And you know why the reason why he's one of my favorite players is because there are times where Paul Pierce, when he couldn't get offense going, decided that, hey, I'm going to I'm going to go and do other things now. I'm going to go fill gaps. I'm going to go do other shit. I'm going to go grab rebounds. I'm going to go play better defense. I'm going to go ahead and facilitate. I'm going to find other ways to affect this game. That's what the great players do. Joe, your offense ain't going. Find other ways to affect the game. You didn't do that at all. I mean, there were plays where Bam is just behind you grabbing rebounds like you're a child. How I look when I play in leagues where everyone else is really athletic, they ask me to play a big man, and I'm not really a big man. When you put me in a league with people who are 6'8" and jump out of the building, I am no longer a big man. I'm just a guy who's big. That's it. That's it. And I could box these people out to the free throw line. It don't matter. I could box them up into a UPS truck and send them first day air to the other side of the country. They're going to grab the rebound anyway on the way. They're taking the ball with them. Joe, are you not wild athletic? Are you not massive? Are your arms not long as fuck? Move people, grab the rebound, secure it. I mean, there was one play where he grabbed the rebound. No, that was against Dwight. That was against Dwight where he grabbed the rebound and Bam poked it away, and then Dwight got the goaltending right after that. At least Dwight felt the need to try something after that, after he knew he fucked up. They just punched us in the mouth, man. They out energy. Just all up in our ass. And the thing is that Heat team, I said this on my last podcast, they've been scoring like 120 points a game over the last month. Their offense is rolling, even though they didn't score that much against us. But it's not a surprise that they were able to score on us pretty easily. Even though you're never going to see Jimmy shoot like that again. And our defensive player of the year, for whatever reason, we put our defensive player of the year on Duncan Robinson. Listen, I get it. Duncan Robinson, yeah, we got to have a body on Duncan at all times, chasing him through screens. No question about it. But how you just let Jimmy do whatever the fuck he wants to do? And you don't ever at one point say, he scored 14 in the first quarter. You don't at one point think, yo, Ben, take him the fuck out of the game. Maybe not, because maybe you think Ben is scared of Jimmy. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. They don't really look at each other. We know Jimmy and Joe are cool, but Ben and Jimmy ain't never kind of looked like they had, when they left, a lot of the things Jimmy was saying was about Ben. Kind of seems that way. Because he said that these guys that don't put the work in the gym, but he didn't have beef with Joe. So I think maybe he was talking about on their games. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're in the gym working out, but are you doing the work? And we've heard that after that Ben doesn't actually put the work in. People have suggested that. Now, in all the videos we ever see of Ben shooting, those are actually the few and far between times that he's actually doing the work. But on a daily basis, it's not actually happening. Whereas Joe comes in every year, his offensive game is more and more polished, right? But we weren't sure about Joe putting the work in the other part of the gym, right? Yeah, lifting weights, getting his cardio up, which he did this year. But Ben's offensive game is taking steps back. It's going backwards at times. Go ahead and watch Ben's rookie year and his second year. Compare it to this year and tell me that's the same Ben Simmons. It's not. It's not. It's not. Now, we had more spacing at that time, but we didn't have better players necessarily. I mean, we had Dario starting. Dario can't space anything. He couldn't space a ship. He wouldn't be allowed to be an astronaut. They would never let him be an astronaut. He don't space anything. I mean, Joe, I can't even believe how you got crushed out there. I can't even believe how you got crushed out there. They made you look like a little boy. They made you look like a child. And here you are, you talking spicy to Trevor Ariza, and you should talk spicy to Trevor. Yes, fuck him. Fuck him. I wouldn't have even apologized to him. Maybe not. I would have. I would have said, yo, I didn't try to hurt you. And if you feel that way, I'm sorry. That's my bad. That was definitely not my intention. But if you still want these hands, you can catch them. I ain't soft. Understand that. Nobody's worried about you. Nobody here is worried about you. No one is scared of Trevor Ariza. Not one person on the planet is scared of Trevor. His first name is fucking Trevor. I've never met a Trevor that scared me. Ain't no Trevor on this planet that scares me. Trevor Noah's a fucking comedian. Know a Trevor that I don't know a Trevor that's ever scared me. And Ben. What are we doing, broadcast? Let's talk about it. He scores enough points to win the games. He scored 8 points yesterday. He had 6 assists because 6 assists because he wasn't finna do nothing else. getting mad, getting frustrated because he's trying to post up Duncan Robinson. Ben, in the first quarter, we saw you try to post up Duncan Robinson. It ain't really go well. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It didn't really look that good because you don't really have a post game. You just think you're going to overpower people. And sometimes you may find out that the people you're going to overpower ain't even that overpowerable. And you're going to feel sorry about that, ain't you? You'll feel dumb about that because you don't really have the game to stop any of it from happening. Who shot the air ball three-pointer, by the way, off the side of the backboard? Who was that? Was that Joe? Who shot that when Joe started settling for threes? That might have been Joe. Somebody shot a three-pointer that hit the backboard so fucking hard. 7 for 25 from three. Pathetic. Anyway. 26 minutes, 2 free throws. Tells the story. Yeah, it tells the story of Ben right there. 4 fouls. One of those fouls at least was ticky tack. I did not like that call. What's the foul I'm thinking of? I mean, for such a physical game, it's crazy to think that we had 8. How many fouls did they have? Let's see here. Well, they only had 15 fouls. It doesn't feel that bad. Yeah, Dwayne Dedmon accounted for 5 of them, and he got all of those. He got like 3 in a span of 2 minutes. But that's the difference between a team that's actually physical and guys who are mentally saying, yo, we have to turn up our physicality. Because the guys who are actually physical are just being strong, and the fouls don't look like fouls. When you're trying to be physical, the fouls now look like fouls. They're fouls. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Joe, let's look at Bam's number. I mean, Bam fucking crushed you. It's like these motherfuckers heard my podcast. I swear. Jimmy and Bam heard my podcast together and they stewed on it. And they said, word, watch what I'm gonna do. Watch. Yeah, Brian? Oh yeah. I'm gonna send you a message after this, bitch. Because you're gonna look real dumb after this shit is over. I can't shoot. Boom. 4 for 4 from 3. Easy. 21 points on 10 field goal attempts. Easy. Bam, you look soft. I look soft. Watch what I do to Joe. I'm gonna make him look a little fucking kid out here, like a big little kid. I mean, just soft, 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 soft. And I don't mean to be alarmist. You know what I mean? I don't really mean to be alarmist. I know I can. I have that tendency at times to be like an alarmist, and I don't want to be that. But I'm gonna be real. You can't watch that game yesterday and feel good at all about going into the playoffs. You can't feel good about that. Can't feel good. Any team that's going to employ any type of zone, we don't have an answer for, because Ben doesn't have any elite ability to penetrate. Toby doesn't have an elite ability to penetrate. We don't have elite floor spreaders. We can't make any team pay for a zone. We can't. We have nothing to make a team pay for a zone. And Joe is rendered useless once they put a zone out there. Because that's what zones are for. That's what a zone is for. To render the big man useless. Easy double teams. Easy collapses. Big man no longer has an easy way. It's not a man-up situation. And they have the personnel, like the Raptors, that say, oh, okay, double team hard, get back to our guy. Mentally smart guys, mentally smart defenders. We showed up. We thought our talent would win. They showed up, and they knew that they could punch us in the fucking mouth, and we wouldn't respond. And we didn't. We didn't respond. You can't watch this game, feel good about the playoffs at all. And I said that. And here I am again, rehashing, thinking, watching Ben as he can't do anything to this zone. Thinking if you employed a zone to someone like James Harden, you pay for that every single play of the game. You are going to pay every play of the game for employing a zone against someone like James Harden. He is going to eat you the fuck alive. Bradley Beal is going to eat you alive if you put a zone on him. You're going to eat you alive. These guys are going to eat you alive. We don't have that. All this defense that Ben plays, but you can only really defend 1 or 2 people, right? You can only really affect 1 or 2 people on defense at a time. So if they're able to score, how do we respond? We can't. We can't respond. It's not like we had a ton of open shots that weren't dropping. That's not what happened. They were contested shots. We shot a ton of contested jump shots late in the shot clock. We had no answers. We had no answers for them. Not one. Kendrick Nunn looked the best point guard on the floor out there yesterday. Kidding me? We had no answers. This don't make me feel good. You think this is going to change if we see them in the second round of the playoffs? Yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be a little different. But I'm sorry, you think Doc is going to outcoach Eric Spoelstra? No, not in a million years. There are 3 coaches, maybe 2 in the NBA today who are going to outcoach Eric Spoelstra, maybe. And really the argument might be 0. There might be 0 coaches. And in the playoffs, there won't be a coach in the playoffs who can outcoach Eric Spoelstra. Maybe you can argue Brad Stevens if you want, but looking at the Celtics team right now, I don't know how you can say that. His mind might be able to outthink Eric Spoelstra, but he can't get the guys rallied. Eric Spoelstra has the trust, the belief of the team. They have the guys, the personnel. The team is built well. Bam is improving year by year. And here we are. Compare Bam to year 1 to Ben to year 1. And then compare them each to this year. Obviously not the same player. But just compare them now. What Bam was a few years ago. I said, remember, last year I said Bam was part of the Draymond Green All-Stars. Where it's these guys, Bam, Ben, Draymond, Pascal, these long guys, Giannis is on steroids, Everett on steroids. These long guys who don't necessarily, who are uber athletic, strong, good defenders, long, can handle the ball, can initiate your offense, but are raw, right? They have a rawness to them. Well, yeah, Bam is raw, but now he's developing. Ben is not developing. The worry about Ben's jump shot is less about his willingness to take the jump shots and more about his willingness to improve as a basketball player, to get better. You're telling me Ben has gotten better? He's a better defender over the last 2 years than he was over the first 2 years. I can give you that. But as an offensive player, there is no improvement to his game offensively. The assist numbers are down. Why are the assist numbers down? Well, it's pretty simple. Assist numbers depend on personnel. His assist numbers depend on personnel, right? Because he's not creating a ton of offense off of great passes. I said this earlier this year. When was the last time we've seen Ben make one of those passes that you're like, yo, what a fucking pass? 2 years ago, he looked like Magic Johnson. 2-3 years ago, he looked like the next Magic. All the LaMelo Ball passes we're seeing right now, Ben was doing that. And now this year, he just looks like a guy who runs towards the rim and then jumps, looks around and passes the ball, does a no-look pass to any three-point shooter he can find. And if that guy doesn't hit it, there's no assist. When's the last time you seen Ben dive in, draw a double team, and feed it to somebody underneath the basket or do something like that? I haven't seen him do anything like that. I don't see any great passing. Ben, yes, I mean, I talked about the outlet passing. And credit to Vic. I talked to Vic about it yesterday. He said, yo, I just think it's not in his game to do that, to leak out, to just go. He wants to come into the backcourt and get the ball like a point guard. You're right. I theorized maybe Brett Brown showed him all the Chris Paul videos. We know that. And that's all Chris Paul does. Chris Paul doesn't really go out on a break and catch outlet passes. Instead of Ben being LeBron, Ben wants to be Chris Paul with none of the skill level to be that. When we need a bucket, who's going to get it? It took 17 attempts for Toby to get 21 points. That is what he typically does. That's actually pretty good considering he didn't shoot any threes because he ended up getting to the foul. He didn't make any threes. He got to the free throw line. Usually it would be 21 points with 2 threes and no free throws. Or he would have had 23 points with 2 free throws, and that's it. I mean, I don't see how this is going to go well for us. I'm going to be real with you. Just keep it real. Keep it 100. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to beat this team in the playoffs. I don't think so. Not right now. They're rolling right now. They're getting hot. Their defense yesterday looked like championship level defense. That looks like the defense that they had in the bubble. That looks like the defense they had in the bubble. Leave it to us to let Tyler Hero have a good offensive game. He ain't been playing good offensively all year, but against us, he'll bake. Yeah, he's going to cook. Yeah, Ben shut down Duncan Robinson. Great. How about everyone else? And how about when we needed points? It's great to shut down guys. It is. It's necessary. I'm not saying that. Everyone needs Tony Allen. But Tony Allen can never, ever, 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 ever be your second best player or your third best player. Because you still need to score in the league. You need to score in the NBA. Go ahead, put a team of Tony Allen, Ben Wallace, Ben Simmons, Dennis Rodman, and fucking Scottie Pippen. Or Draymond Green, right? And then give me a team of 5 only offensive guys. Of guys that you say that we consider bad defenders only play offense. And tell me who's going to win that game. The offensive guys won't need to get 2 points. That's the end. 2 points. They finna just all stand in the paint and watch you shoot. Unless you put Kawhi on that defensive team and then you have some offense there. Otherwise, you have a bunch of guys who will pass and facilitate and no one who can actually score. I love defense. Man, defense is so important. But you need to score points. You need points. You need points. Where are we going to get points from when it's time? We can't depend on Toby to give us points. Against this team, Joe's going to have the worst fucking playoff loss of his career. He's going to have trash numbers, and people are going to be judging him. He's a choker, blah, 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 without being able to look at, well, they don't really have a point guard that can facilitate or initiate an offense through a zone to help Joe. I mean, when they go into a zone, God, you might have, timeout, Ben, get the fuck out of the game. Ben or Joe, get out the game. Get another shooter in there. You might as well, because Ben and Joe, when there's a zone, that's it. It's done. We're not scoring. There will be no offense. There will be blood, but there will be no offense. Somewhere in the distance, what's his face is laughing, the actor, as he watches oil spring from his fields. There will be blood. This was miserable. This was a miserable game. This is the first game all year that I watched and was like, oh, shit, this is a problem. See, last year that happened so often. My anger was constantly on 10 because I was like, earlier this year, how many times did I come on after a loss? Yeah, I would get a little spicy. But you're going to lose games. It's the NBA. You're not going to go 72 this year, 72-0 or 82-0. You're not going to go undefeated. You're going to lose games. People are going to be off. There's going to be fuck shit that happens, injuries, sickness, whatever. There's going to be things. You're going to lose games. It's going to happen. Yesterday was the first game that we lost. That was concerning. That was scary. That I said, oh, we might be able to put a pin in this shit because there's going to be a lot of teams that can do this type of defense to us, and we're not going to have an answer for it. The personnel are not going to change. Ben is not all of a sudden going to be a different basketball player to break down a zone. We don't have what it takes to stop a zone. We don't have the personnel to do it. There is no one on our team that can get into the lane other than like Tyrese, honestly, and Shake at times. Tyrese is the only one with reckless abandon who goes to the rim. You know what I mean? And essentially what you need. It's essentially what you need, someone to go into the rim or someone who can float. You know what I mean? Get into the zone, get into that space of the zone, the in-between, the nether, and float one. You don't have anyone but Tyrese who could do that. Shake's floater isn't really. George Hill wants to throw alley-oops instead of floaters. Ben with a floater? No, silly. He's silly. You silly, you. Ben with a floater. No, he ain't gonna have that. Toby don't float either. Well, Toby can't really get anyone on his hip to float. So Toby has to essentially just finish over everyone, just finish through or over or on anyone. He's just no open shots, no ability to get into space. There's just no such thing unless there's a screen there for him. Guess what? Our offense is predicated heavily on screen and roll. And guess what happens in a zone? Screen and rolls don't really work in zones. There's no man on man screen. They're just collapsing. That's all. There's nothing there. Here we go. So let's set a screen in the zone now. Let's see what happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Just nothing. No. It doesn't work. Oh man. Yeah, this is scary. We got the Magic today. We got the Magic on Sunday. We might be able to lock up the 1 seed. Not that it might make a difference. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff happening in the NBA. We'll see what happens after this weekend. Yeah, this podcast was long enough. I'm not going to talk about the standings. Monday, you'll get a podcast talking about the play-in games that are going to be coming up. They start on the 18th. That's Tuesday. And then playoffs start on Friday, the 22nd, right? No, Saturday the 22nd, I think. Yeah, so it starts Saturday. So that's it, everyone. This is scary. I'm afraid. I'm shook. We look terrible. We look like some bitches. We look soft. Pathetic. Everyone, wash your hands. You know the drill. Black Lives Matter. Arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Stop Asian hate. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. Well, actually, wearing a mask, well, we're going to fuck that up. But, CDC guidelines updated. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. Get vaccinated, please. Please get vaccinated. If you're not a fucking chemist, please get vaccinated. Stop watching YouTube videos of people who are telling you that the vaccine is going to turn us into sheep and we're going to start sprouting wool or some whatever the fuck. I'm over, just tired of it. Just tired of it. Tired of all of it. Anyway, that's it. Take care.
Yo. Yo. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind. Used to come